Nate Grimard walking to the cage after an impressive pro debut win over Anthony Vasta, a fighter that got the win earlier tonight here over Aaron Hughes. Nate Grimard beat him via unanimous decision, and it was really impressive. He looked fantastic. His wrestling was on point, and it was a smart game plan to do what he did against Vasta. Now he has another tough test. Andrew Provost, 1-0, trains at a Robert Hughes BJJ. He had a UD Pro win over Chris Rooney, a guy that we saw most recently had that loss to Muhammad Al-Kanani, who fights later tonight. But as an amateur, Provost fought at heavyweight and at light heavyweight. And here we are, this fight's at 150 pounds, so he's clearly changed his body tremendously to be at this weight class. So this is an interesting matchup for me. I mean, Provost looks the part. The guy's jacked. So I'm really intrigued to see who gets the win here in this matchup.
You know, Provost has been a staple on the Vermont circuit for as long as I can remember. XCP, Extreme Cage Fighting Promotions. He was there, him and Chris Rooney, a couple other guys, they basically fought on every card. So I think he had a really extensive amateur record. You know, many, many fights and a lot of experience. I mean, we're talking, I'm guessing, but I can remember him being around in like 2012, 2013. You know, we're talking almost 9-10 years ago. So there's a lot of experience. But Nate Grimard is an up-and-comer. And we saw what he did to Anthony Vasta. And we saw how good Anthony Vasta looked today.
Extremely impressive victory over Anthony Vasta. And here comes Provost to the cage now. Again, fighting out of Robert Hughes BJJ. Let's give you the tail of the tape. Provost is 10 years older than Grimard, 34 years old to Grimard's 24. They're both basically the same height. They both weighed in at 150. Grimard's a half an inch taller, and Provost has a 2-inch reach advantage, 72 inches to Grimard's 70. So not really much of an advantage there. And both of these guys are really good grapplers, so that very well could be how this fight plays out on the ground, which is something that's been kind of a theme here tonight at NEF 47.
Yeah, and what do we see? Like, wrestling is really, like your father says, right? The most important aspect. And if he can out-wrestle Andrew Provost, I think Nate will get the win. If he can't, then who knows? I don't know if it's gonna. I agree with you. I think it's gonna be a ground war. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be stand-up, but fight starts standing up. I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Who knows? Maybe someone will land a big head kick, or we'll get a KO. But I think we're expecting this fight to be a grappling matchup between two tough guys, and Nate Grimard and Andrew Provost.
And I expect Nate to work his hips, control Andrew's hips really well. He's well coached from Devin Powell. He's been coached from a young age. And, let's see what Andrew Provost has got up his sleeve. He knows what he's dealing with Nate because he's probably got some film on him from the last fight, previous fights. It's an open book. You know, he's a solid wrestler, great cardio. So expect him to push the pace.
I love the song choices coming out too, some old school.
Yeah.
Up next we have Glory Watson against Natalie Schlesinger. I'm sure there's a few people watching at home tonight cheering on Glory Watson. She's got a massive fan base. A lot of people support her, and rightfully so. Classy inside and outside of the cage, looking to get another win here as a professional after that really impressive victory last time out.
Yeah, one of Maine's favorite fighters. For sure. John English giving the directions to Andrew Provost. We're about to get this started.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next fight is a catchweight contest which falls under the auspice of the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner to my left. He comes to us representing Nostos MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, Nathaniel Grimard. And his opponent, competing out of the red corner directly across the cage, representing Robert Hugas BJJ, Andrew Provost. 3 rounds, lightweights.
All right, Grimard out of the blue corner with the olive-colored trunks, and Provost out of the red corner with the black trunks. Here we go. Got a measured approach here early on.
Yeah.
These two. And Provost right to the cage, backing Nate up. Probably looking for a takedown, I'd assume.
Yeah, a lot of experience coming from Andrew Provost. A lot of time, a lot of cage time. Nathan doing a good job with his hips to avoid that takedown as he goes for that single. He's got a whizzer on the left hand. He's got the whizzer lock.
Those are some nice short, stiff shots from Provost there.
Yep. Oh, maybe looked like he was trying to go for a rolling knee bar or something.
And obviously Grimard with Devin Powell in his corner. One of the best fighters to come out of the state, or New England in general, really.
Yeah, what a warrior, that Devin Powell.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, literally true grit just got him into the UFC and beyond, you know.
All right, Grimard doing what he can to stop this from hitting the mat. Maybe keep this on the feet. But Grimard turns him around and now looking to score some offense himself.
Yeah, and he's just pummeled under for that. And he's looked for Grimard to maybe pick a leg. He's got double underhooks right now. Looks like it. He's going to probably go to the double right here, get his hands locked, and he's going to go for a ride. Into his corner. Well done, Nate.
That was a savvy veteran move right there, picking him up and bringing him right over so Devin Powell can bark instruction as to what to do next.
You know what? He's so disciplined. He didn't go for some kind of big slam or some fancy. He just dropped him right in front of Devin, and then he's going to listen because, you know, I know Nathan a little bit, and he's a gentleman, and he's a good student. I know he is, and I know he's listening right now to Devin, and he's coachable. So, smart move. You're right.
Yeah,
veteran move from a kid who's 20 years old.
Yeah, I mean he's 24 years old. This is his second pro fight. Obviously, he's the former NEF amateur featherweight champion, and looking to move to 2-0 as a professional fighter here tonight. But a game opponent in Andrew Provost. After that chess match early on against the cage, Grimard got the better of it and is now in a good spot here as we go under a minute 40 in round number 1. Four fights remain here on the NEF 47 card. And we still have that exciting main event of Jesse the Viking Erickson and Matt Kendall Denning.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight right there.
Teacher versus student. You know, this place is going to be loud.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and that takes...
You got a lot of CM, BJJ guys here.
Oh, everyone's here for that fight. You got the return of Ryan Sanders and Mark Gardner.
Oh, man.
Mohamed El Kanani back in action against Ross Danner. And of course, Glory Watson and Natalie Schlesinger next. But right now, it's all about Nate Grimard and Andrew Provost, as Grimard looking pretty good here towards the end of round one. Clearly, this is going to be a 10-9 round for Grimard, it seems, as long as we do see a round two, which I would imagine that is probably going to be the case. Provost is in no real danger as he's up against the cage, but Grimard looking impressive right now, showing some elite level grappling.
Yeah, when you lock your legs like that, you get limited options for your hips when he has a body lock from the bottom. But he's looking out, looking to sweep butterfly hooks underneath. And the round's going to end pretty soon. There we go. Grimard helps him up. Just saw in the last fight, Nate Boucher fight.
All right, the two men touch gloves. Round two is underway. Nice level change. Now, if you're Devin, I think Devin, he's got butterfly, but you're going to want to get past those. Yeah, Grimard looking good here in this one. Again, in the same spot where round one ended, right in front of his corner.
We got John English, the third man in the cage. There might be a stand-up coming. Because Andrew, as long as the attacks are coming, they won't stand it up. But if that head's held down for too long and he's got that closed guard, then we might be looking at John English standing it up.
Use the cage to get up, Andrew.
Nate's doing a great job of stuffing him into the cage where he can't. He's got to release his hips, and when you do that, you run the risk of Nate jumping over your legs and getting into a really good position. So he's going to try and slide his hips out to the left. And I think Nate, Nate can grind out a victory. He's a grinder, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that what he did to Anthony Vasta?
That's exactly what he did to Anthony Vasta. This looks very similar to his pro debut, where he won a unanimous decision victory over Anthony Vasta.
It also looks a lot like his last amateur fight when Billy Wilson grinded him out with, slightly better wrestling.
Yep. Boy, Billy Wilson, that kid looked fantastic. Obviously training at Jackson Wink MMA. I'd love to see NEF bring him back up.
Defend that title?
Yeah, if he hasn't gone pro, I think that was the plan to go
that's
pro.
Right.
So we'll see what happens there. But right now, Nate Grimard in cruise control on top of Andrew Provost here in the second round. Got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left here in round number two here of this 150-pound catchweight bout.
Yeah, he's getting out wrestled, Provost is. Nate's trying to get that right leg free. He's doing he's being very patient. That's what's great about this kid, So you said it, a very professional move like a seasoned veteran to bring him over there, but also to be okay here working. He's just constantly trying to get that right leg through.
I don't know if you heard Provost, but he was laughing hysterically about something. He's on the bottom having fun laughing right now.
Yeah. And he's got lockdown, the same move that we saw before from Zenon Herrera. He's put that leg in lockdown. It's difficult to get it. There are escapes from there. I know a couple of them, but they don't put you in a really good position. So he's being very patient, which is good.
Now, is this in danger of being stood up here? Is Grimard doing enough?
Well, we saw it stopped and stood up with Herrera and Carl Langston, right?
Yeah.
And it was from this lockdown position and holding it down. And I think John English is going to stand him up.
Yeah, I mean, even if it does get back to the feet, I have to imagine we're probably going to end up back down on the ground pretty quick anyway. So
yeah,
Might as well keep him here. Yeah, we're under a minute here in round number 2.
John.
Grimard, another dominant round. So Provost, if this gets into round 3, he's going to be needing a finish to pull out the win here because he's going to be down 2 rounds to nothing.
100%. If I'm Nathan, I would probably take advantage of the fact that I'm a pro. I can throw elbows right here. Short elbows would really make for a bad night for Andrew Provost.
20 seconds, Nate. You got this.
All right, 10 seconds left in the round. We're going to see a 3rd round here. And this has Natalie Schlesinger coming into enemy territory against the hometown favorite, Glory Watson.
Love tap for round 3. Watch for, no, Andrew's going to try and get the takedown here. I think it's going to be a little bit too little too late.
And Grimard does a nice job of reversing position there. Now has Provost backed up against the cage. Very similar story here to rounds 1 and 2.
Yep. So he gets the double underhooks. You're going to pick him up and bring him over to Devin Powell again. One underhook, double underhooks right there. Big trip, reverses the direction on that and puts him right down in his corner. Crowd doesn't like it. They want to see blood, but you know what? Technical, very good fight.
Well, Nate Grimard's grappling looks very, very good. Obviously, he's got some fantastic training partners around him. Saw Aaron Lacey hobbling around here earlier today. He broke his ankle.
Oh, really?
In training, yeah. So that fight with Peter Barrett is now off, unfortunately, which is a huge bummer because I know a lot of people were looking forward to that matchup. Aaron's going to be on the recovery path for a little while, but I'm sure we'll see him back in action again very soon. Right now, one of his training partners, Nate Grimard, looking dominant here in this fight against Andrew Provost.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, if you can't get up from the bottom, I mean, this is what we saw with Felipe Gunther, right? Like with A.J. Barton back in Vermont, he got stuck in a position he couldn't get up. He worked on it. He came across a great wrestler. He kept him down there, had trouble, you know, because getting out-wrestled. Right now, Andrew Provost is getting out-wrestled by Nate Grimard.
I'd like to see Grimard, you know, when he gets his opponent in a position like this, same thing against Vasta, maybe the potential to finish the fight, you know, open up with some big shots, you know, because that's the kind of stuff that he's going to need to get to that next level. You know, obviously, NEF is a wonderful regional promotion here. But these guys, they have big dreams of making it to the UFC. That's got to be the goal for, I'd imagine, almost any young fighter that's trying to make this their career. So to get to that point, you know, finishes are crucial. I mean, you want to have that record look the part when Dana White, you know, and the UFC brass start paying attention to you. I mean, UD wins are nice. Finishes, you know, are even nicer.
Totally agree. And the problem, I think, right here is that lockdown. And Nate doesn't want to sacrifice a potential loss, or, you know, he's just so well coached. You know, he doesn't want to risk something by and he's having trouble getting out of that lockdown. So you can't really fire off too much of an offense when one leg is totally secured by Andrew's two other legs.
Yeah. Well, Provost is tough. I mean, he's been right in this fight the whole way along, you know, showing a lot of heart. But he just hasn't had an answer for Nate Grimard's takedowns and his top game.
Yeah, his heavy hips.
We got a minute left in the fight.
1 minute left.
Grimard cruising to a UD victory.
Provost is starting to mount an attack.
Here you go. Push him away, Andrew.
He's starting to mount an attack by controlling his hips and getting him, telling him to empty his gas tank. Under 40 seconds to go in the fight.
It's going to be
Moving.
a little late for anything at this point, as Grimard is in total control. his big toe was caught in Nate's shorts, so John English ran over and unhooked that.
John English always on top of it. 30-27 Grimard, no doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for both these combatants going 3 hard-fought rounds tonight in Auburn, Maine. We go to the scorecards, and all 3 judges score this fight the same, 30-27. For your winner, via unanimous decision, Nathaniel Grimard. Nathaniel with a bit of a congratulatory ride, courtesy of his opponent. Nathaniel, you got a lot of fans here. Want to say a few words real quick?
Yeah, thank you guys for coming out. Got the win. It wasn't exciting, but I'll put on a show for you guys soon. Thank you.
Nathaniel Grimard, ladies and gentlemen, victorious tonight at NEF in Auburn, Maine.